Hey guys, my name is Maria and welcome to another video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know I have not been on here for over a week. And there's actually more than one reason for this, but this video is rather a sad one. But I think it's also a really important one because my mistake could be somebody else's warning so they don't make the same mistake. So actually the reason why I haven't been putting videos out is because it was my birthday. And we went to Great Wolf Lodge with my family, with my kids and my husband, and we had a lot of fun, and it was a blast. But then at the end of that vacation, on the last day, I got some pretty upsetting news that I have pretty much at this point come to terms with, but it's definitely something that I do not wish on anyone, on any bird owner or any animal owner for that matter. So I actually took one of our birds, our Indian ringneck female, Aria, who is actually behind me because she's upstairs in quarantine. So I actually took her to the vet because she was losing feathers on her head, and at first Mike and we thought that it was Sunny, our male Indian ringneck, that he was picking feathers off of her head. But after a while it just got so bad where she didn't have a lot of feathers on her head anymore, and her feathers were just looking pretty bad. So I took her to the exotic avian vet, and they tested her for a lot of things. Like, they tested her blood and some genetic disorders that could have been contributing to this and some other stuff. So the doctor a few days later called me and said that her blood test was normal, everything looked good. And then about a week later, on our last day of vacation at Great Wolf Lodge, I got some news from the doctor. The doctor actually called me directly, and he said that Aria has beak and feather disease. And I actually had no idea at all what this was. I've never heard of it. I had no knowledge of this prior, and I did some research, and it's an infectious disease that there's no known cure for. So psittacine beak and feather disease is a viral disease affecting all Old World and New World parrots. The causative virus, beak and feather disease virus, belongs to the taxonomic genus Circovirus. It attacks the feather follicles and the beak and claw matrices of the bird, causing progressive feather, claw, and beak malformation and necrosis. In later stages of the disease, feather shaft constriction occurs, hampering development until eventually all feather growth stops. It occurs in an acutely fatal form and a chronic form. So it's, at least from the stuff that I have found and from talking to breeders and other people, it's pretty much a death sentence. And it is also an infectious disease, and I have 8 other birds, as you guys know, or most of you know. So chances are she probably passed it on to some of the birds, if not all of the birds. So as you can tell, this has been very devastating There is no known cure for it, and it's something that happens to parrots that maybe have been smuggled, or it could be passed on from the mom bird to the baby bird when they're feeding them when they're babies. So this was definitely nothing that I did, which I find small comfort in, because I'm just devastated, and I cannot imagine losing one of my birds, let alone all of my birds. And Aria is actually the first bird that we got. And I am going to reveal the place where I got her from and the owner of that store, because he is selling sick birds. And this poor bird, there was always something off about her. And I actually took pity on her when I was at the owner's store, because she's been there for so long and she just looked not very friendly. And I was gonna buy only the male, but I ended up getting both because I just could not leave her behind, and I was just really upset. And I remember calling my husband crying because I could not leave this poor bird behind, because I didn't know if anybody was going to purchase her, and also she wasn't very friendly, so I just couldn't leave her behind. So the place that I got her from, Aria, who's behind me in quarantine, because I mean, chances are all the other birds have it, but you know, maybe with some miracle, which I still have hope and I still believe in miracles. I'm hoping the other birds don't have it, but we're definitely going to get all of them tested, because it's really infectious disease, and even the other animals can get it as well, like our dogs. So I live in Illinois, and I actually purchased Aria, Sunny, our male Indian ringneck, and also Finn, our citron cockatoo, from a store called The Animal Store, which is in Lincolnwood, Illinois, and the owner's name is Ken. I didn't want to say this because this is not a store that I will ever be returning to, and this is really upsetting that he is selling sick birds without having them tested, even though he swore up and down that the birds were tested. I got papers and everything, and he said that they were perfectly healthy. And here we are a year later, and this poor bird looks in really bad condition, and she probably doesn't have that much longer to live. She's losing feathers, she's depressed, she is just not looking good, and this is something that could be prevented if you are more pickier and more selective in where you get your baby birds from. And obviously this guy, the owner, Ken, is not. And I will never be supporting this business again. I will never be going there again. This is so upsetting. I have 8 other birds, and I couldn't film this video because I knew it was going to be a hard one, but I also think a really important one, because my mistake, my potentially fatal mistake, could maybe help somebody prevent this from happening to them. So please, if you are in the market for a baby bird, go to a reputable breeder, somebody that has really good reviews and that people rave about. Like the breeder that I got my severe macaw from, Cora. She came from a really good breeder who tested her for everything. So please, guys, do your research if you are planning on getting a baby bird, because this is a mistake that potentially could be fatal to all of my other birds, and this disease is fatal, and Aria is gonna live tops another year or so, no more than that, and her immune system is compromised. So if this disease doesn't kill her, then another infection or something else will kill her. And this is very devastating to have to go on here and make this video, but it's an important video, and I would like to spread awareness about this issue that I had no idea I would ever come across. All my other birds have been purchased from really breeders that have a really good reputation, and I've had no problems with them. And this was definitely my mistake. So basically, there's nothing I can do about it. And this disease is so contagious, it can actually get passed through the air, through dander and stuff like that. And we have two very dusty birds, our cockatoo and our African gray, although some of the other birds are really dusty as well. And I just can't imagine my life without them, and I just got them, and I am so devastated about this. Sorry guys, my kids are home. It's summer, so they're home for the summer. But I just thought I would go on here and I would be upfront and vulnerable and tell you what has been going on, because I have been really upset, and it's been really hard to even train the birds or, you know, have them out, because I'm worried that one of them might have it and then they will pass it on to another one. And I'm just praying that that's not the case, and that Aria is the only one that has this fatal disease. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say today, guys. I'm sorry that this is rather a sad video, but when I made a channel, I wanted to be vulnerable, you know, through the sad times and the happy times, and this just happens to be a really big obstacle and a really big unhappy moment right now that just broke my heart. And I will keep you guys updated. You know, I will probably show Aria as she is right now, just so you guys know what to look for if potentially your bird might have this. And I will be testing the other birds in case they have it as well, which some people say that there's no chance that the others don't have it, and then others make it sound more like the others might not have it, because Aria was always in isolation. She never communicated with any other bird, really, except maybe Sunny, but Sunny came from the same place that she did, so potentially he could have it too. Maybe the symptoms just haven't shown up yet, because this is a sickness where symptoms could lie dormant for years and then just show up out of nowhere. And I cannot imagine all the other birds going through this. So here's Aria, guys. I'm gonna try to get a better angle and show you, but she looks really like a, I don't know, like she got into a fight or something. She's looking pretty rough. And I already left a review on Yelp for this animal store, and if you guys want to spread awareness and maybe leave a review as well, my husband is going to be calling the store, the owner, Ken. His name is Ken, and I don't know, try to hold him accountable for this, because he has a lot of birds. Right now, I think he has a macaw, an African gray, which is crazy for the tiny little store that he owns. He has way too many animals there, and he does obviously not give them proper attention and doesn't test them for really important diseases that they should be tested for. So yeah, guys. here she is. She's actually, I think, was looking worse. She's looking a little bit better. We're keeping her up here in quarantine, and I'm spraying her with aloe spray for her feathers and putting some drops in her water that could probably help her, but at this point it's just inevitable. And I'm praying and I'm hoping and I'm praying for a miracle, but I don't know. I can't believe that I took pity on her and I took her home, and then this is what happened. So please, guys, if you don't take anything away from this video, just please make sure you vet your breeders that you get your birds from stores. Maybe don't buy them from stores that also sell other animals, because this guy, he also had possums in his store. He had 50 million different kinds of fish, 50 million different reptiles, and big ones too. So he just has way too many animals, and he needs to focus on having less animals and testing them better to make sure that this kind of thing doesn't happen in the future to anyone else. And chances are all of his other birds that he has sold since, which I got Ari about a year ago, are probably infected too. And the people that are buying his birds are taking them home not knowing, and then they're infecting the other birds that those people might potentially have. So it's just a horrible cycle that we want to stop. And never again, guys. Never again. I just can't believe that this is where we are. And we'll be praying. So it's gonna do it for today's sad and really upsetting video that I was hoping I wouldn't have to make so soon into starting my channel, but here we are. Again, I will keep you guys updated, and I will link the store that has put us through this in the description below, because we need to spread awareness and we cannot let this stand. This is horrible and irresponsible and just downright cruel. I feel like I just signed all of my other birds' death certificates when I bought this bird home. Even though the guy swore up and down that she was tested for everything, turns out she probably was not tested for anything, let's be honest. The guy only cares about making a profit. And that was also my mistake. I should have went by myself and gotten her tested when I first brought her, but I didn't know any better, and I should have known better, because now this poor bird is sick, and my other birds might get sick too. So if any of you guys have any experience with anything like this, or any kind of viral diseases, infectious diseases, or any kind of sicknesses that you have dealt with your birds, or anything like that, please let me know in the comments. We can all learn from each other, and maybe somebody else is going through that right now. So don't hesitate. Comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I will keep putting videos out. I will try not to let this get me down. And I still want to give my birds the best life they possibly can, no matter how long they have. So yeah, it's gonna do it for us. Sorry, back there. She's actually talking, and she's coming out of her cage. But I've also heard that this disease is painful, although I haven't really had much indication from her. But if there are any indications that she's in pain, we're going to have to put her down. For now, though, she's hanging in there. She's a fighter. She's a tough little bird. And I'm hoping that my next video is going to be happier, and I'm going to be in a better state of mind. But this is life, and you know, life throws you obstacles, and this is just an obstacle that we're having to go through right now. So thanks, guys, for tuning in and watching this, and I hope you guys will come back to see me and my birds in future videos. Bye, guys.